Hello, folks. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Plucking Petals podcast with James and Kyle. As always, I am Kyle.
And I'm James.
Garth Brooks.
As we go a little something like this.
It's all about the good, bad, love, hate.
And you and I are enjoying a delicious bottle of wine. This is weird. We normally drink bourbon or we have a couple of beers, but you offered wine this time, and I'm very excited.
So it started as a Steve brought this wine to our pig roast.
Okay.
It's called Apothic Red. It's aged in... No, it's Apothic Inferno.
Ooh.
It's aged in bourbon barrels, and I really like it. It gives it a nice vanilla character, I think.
Okay.
But I know nothing about wine. It might be cheap swill, but I enjoy it.
Hey, as long as you enjoy it, I feel like there's not a problem with the wine.
Yeah.
I am definitely a red wine drinker when I do drink wine. I don't like white Zinfandel at all.
I don't really like it all that much either.
Yeah.
But I've been buying a lot of it for twofold. One, I've been enjoying the wine, but two, when I go steelhead fishing, you usually do two flies tied together just to kind of double your chances of catching something.
Mm-hmm.
Tying them together on the water is a piece of ass. So you tie them together, wrap them around a wine cork, and then put each of the hooks in the wine cork, and then just pull it out of your bag, and it's good to go.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think you can just buy wine corks, but it gives you a reason to drink the wine, so...
But that goes into the other thing that I've really been doing since our last podcast. I talked about the new cooking equipment I bought.
Yes, in the last
I've made
episode.
a couple of meals with them, and I've discovered my new favorite thing about cooking in the world.
Okay.
And that is deglazing.
Deglazing. Okay.
So in the
Definitely explain what
steel,
deglazing
Yeah,
is.
in a stainless steel pan, as you cook like your steak or even the vegetables or whatever, it sticks. Like it's
Yes.
you don't want non-stick. You want stick. And so what sticks after you pull the steak out after browning it or whatever is called fond or brown crunchy bits. So this is great. You can chop up an onion or shallot or other vegetables, put it in there on this fond, and as your vegetables start to sweat, you deglaze them with some alcohol. And I've been using this red wine to deglaze with, and I love it. I did that Binging with Babish skirt steak recipe where I just cooked the skirt steak, and then with what was left over, the fond on the stainless steel pan,
Yeah.
I deglazed with shallots in this wine.
Yeah.
And just reduced it down until it was like thick, and put that as the sauce over the
Oh.
steak. Man, it was good.
Oh, man. I am
So
jealous.
deglazing is my new favorite thing.
I don't deglaze very often now that I think about it. Once in a while I'll deglaze. I've been doing a lot of like oven cooking. We did London broil tacos the other day, and that's just me broiling. We doing like a certain rub on a London broil and then broiling it 5 minutes on each side and cutting it up for some good tacos and just stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to get better with the oven and trying to like it's easy, but I don't use it very. I mostly just use like a cast iron. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I deglazed, and I made chili from scratch for the first time last Sunday.
Yeah,
Hosted
and
D&D, did our next step of the campaign, made my own chili.
how did that go?
Oh, I think I had a good time.
Awesome. When's the next one? Is it next week?
Don't know, because holidays are making things
Oh
weird.
yeah, I forgot about that.
But I made my own chili paste, too, with a food processor.
Ooh.
I bought 3 dried chilies. Well, obviously, they're chilies. They're cascabel, which look like little maracas, ancho, and gallardo. I don't know how to pronounce that one.
Okay.
Yeah, like just smoked them up, steeped them in some chicken broth, and then put them in the food processor with some spices, man.
Did you smoke them in your smoker?
No, I said smoked, but like what I meant is I put them on the frying pan on the stove dry until smoke started coming off.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
is
that's a
not
good
correct
move.
terminology. That was not me.
Gotcha. I can't remember. Do you have a electric stove or a gas stove?
It's gas here.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
like
enjoy
doing
it.
the thing with the peppers where you just put it on the fire and then just let them roast and then take off the black crunchy bits and get that good flavor
that's
of
nice.
a fucking bell pepper, man. It's wonderful.
But then I used a pound of chorizo and 3 pounds, or it was more like 4 pounds of pork shoulder.
Okay.
So I took the chorizo out of the casing. This is from a Binging with Babish recipe, too. It's the South Park episode, Mr. and Mrs. Tenderman chili.
Yeah.
Chorizo, fat gets rendered, pull that out. Then you put the pork shoulder cut in 1/2-inch cubes on top, and then as those turn brown, you pull them out. And then the fond at the bottom, you put onions, some jalapenos, a habanero, and then a full Modelo onto once those are done sweating with a little garlic. And then that's what I put like the tomatoes, the meat back into, and then my chili paste, and let it just simmer for hours.
Oh,
and
my
man,
God.
I was really proud of it.
I gotta say, chili I feel like is always good, like like a week after it's made. I feel like it just needs a little more like, I know people like to eat chili right away after they're done, but I like when you put it away, let it cool down, let it sit in itself for a little while, and then bring it back next week, or like freeze it for a while and bring it back, because I feel like it just, the flavors kind of add a little more.
Not as long, but there might be something to it, because I actually made this on Saturday for Sunday. Mm-hmm. So I cooked it and then put it away, and then on Sunday I reheated it, and I actually liked it quite a bit more on Sunday compared to when I had a bowl on Saturday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you're going to make the Kevin's chili next then from The Office?
They're actually incredibly similar.
Oh, really?
The difference is the kind of chili peppers he used, and then he did his own tomatoes where I just bought canned tomatoes.
Yeah.
And then the meat. So he used, I think, chuck steak, where this was pork-based, because apparently pork tastes the most like human, according to some dark websites.
For some lovely South Park cannibalism in that regard. Do you know what you're going to make next? It seems like you're on this binging with Babish kick, so...
I want to do something not as complicated as a binging with Babish thing next, but honestly, I just want to deglaze everything.
Mm-hmm. It's such a good process. Yeah. It really adds such another depth of flavor when it comes to whatever you're cooking. I don't know what it is.
I think I might do mac and cheese next, even though this is another kind of binging with Babish, but I had kind of like similarly stumbled across... some recipe similar here is where you start with a bechamel sauce and then just melt your cheese in that.
Ooh.
And I did that 3 times and it was like varying results, but I feel like I have a better grasp on timing and stuff now, so I'm gonna try that again, I think.
I like it.
Yeah.
Like doing like the breadcrumb thing on top.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm not a super big fan of that all the time, but because sometimes I just like a thing of Kraft mac and cheese because I just want to feel bad about myself. But you know, if I'm taking the time, I will definitely do the extra layer of cheese and maybe some of the breadcrumb stuff and whatnot. So I like it. I like it a lot.
So I've been hogging the mic talking about food. I'm very hungry. So
I mean, that's fine. I also like talking about food all the time, so that's fine. I guess we can catch up with me real quick. I made a list of things.
So while I was eating my chili and being a dungeon master, what were you doing, Kyle?
I had a show at the Grog Shop. I opened for MC Lars, which is a rapper, and Kuhu Kangaroo, which is I would say a 2-man Aquabats, basically. Do you know who
I do know who
Aquabats are?
Aquabats are, yeah. Maybe you should explain for people that don't, though.
Yeah, so Aquabats is like a rock ska band that's very much ska, like positive mood kind of feeling and whatnot.
I
very
think They
cartoonish.
Might Be Giants are more popular and kind of in the same vein.
Yeah,
like
I mean they did the Malcolm in the Middle theme, so I think that's where that comes in. But they're fun. So I did the show at Grog Shop, and I walk in and I say hello to these people. I've met MC Lars before. We talked and caught up a little bit. Never met Kuhu Kangaroo before, but I have seen them when I was down in Florida doing some music stuff down there. And I'm like, cool. Like, I want to open with these guys because I like both their music. It's really fun, and you have a good time. And what I didn't realize is that this was a show that was geared 100% towards children.
So Cuckoo Kangaroo did not tip you off at all?
No.
Did you go back through your literature that you received for the show and find like, oh no, I missed this, or was it really not informed?
I was not informed. They may have. I'm assuming what happened is that the bands may have told the venue, and the venue did not tell me, or there was some miscommunication, or maybe they felt like I should have known. But here's the thing. I've seen Kuhu Kangaroo at like a Nerdapalooza or like a Warp Tour. So it's like, I'm like, cool. I thought it was going to be like the Froggy Fresh group where it was like a couple kids, but like mostly adults. I was so 100% wrong. So I walked in and they were like, oh man, so good to meet you. We're very happy that you're opening for us. We're really glad that you can do an all clean set. And I don't know if anyone has heard my music before, or you just like to hear the dulcet tones of my voice on a podcast, but some of my stuff is subjective in adult content area.
I don't think you used that word right, but continue.
I don't think so either. It's been a long day. So I have a lot of adult themes. I use curse words and whatnot. So I went outside immediately, freaking out, being like, I don't know what I can do. I was like cutting songs left and right. I'm like, I don't know what I can surface with. I changed all the swear words to hug, and anything else was like different dumb happy things.
So it was like a daytime TV version of Die Hard. Like
Yeah, basically.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother friend.
Yeah, mother friend, mother hugger.
Yeah.
I did a lot of hugs. Hug me, hug that, hug you. So the show was sold out. 350 people sold out. We did the show. It went well. The kids really liked my song about chicken wings. They were like that. I was at the bar getting a drink, and this kid came up to me and he said, "Hey, were you one of the openers?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "You were very interested." And then he like walked away, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
I can't remember if I've said this on the podcast or not before, but I think a good judge for whether you should take something as a compliment or not is imagine someone who just went on a blind date with you describing you in that same way. So if I set my friend up on a blind date with you,
Yeah.
and she described you as interesting as her first word,
I don't like that at
Yeah.
all. That's a good judge. So out of all those 350 attendants, I only got 2 complaints on the Facebook event page that were saying that was very inappropriate and I shouldn't have been on the show. And I did a true crime song that it was way over the kids' heads. There was just a bunch of references about true crime and whatnot, but the adults hated it apparently. But I still had a fun time. That was cool. Whatever. That's why we try to do a podcast early and whatnot so we can get that out of the way. Besides that, this weekend I am working on a music video.
That's cool.
For a new song that is about true crime. It's called "I Think I'm Gonna Die, My Girl's Into True Crime." Very literal, very much on the head.
Okay.
So I worked on that Saturday and Sunday. We have 2 more shoots location stuff to do this week, and then I should be done with that. So that should be out in January. And so I'm kind of having a problem right now as well. So I want to throw it by you just to get your 2 cents about it.
A well of good advice.
I know. I'm excited. You already gave me the blind date one. So, okay. So let's do this.
All right. He said, "Let's do this," and took a chug of wine. So
That's
I'm
right.
filling the airtime.
All right. So I was contracted out by a wedding company to do wedding videography. It happened in October. And we're running into a little bit of a problem right now. Well, let me rephrase that. They're running into a problem. I'm fine. So what happened was I had sent them all of the files because they're in Illinois or something like that.
Yeah, did you mention this before where they just wanted the raw footage? You didn't even have to do any editing. You just showed up, you
Yes.
shot, they paid you gave them all of the raw footage.
Yes.
Okay.
So I gave them all the raw footage. They had emailed me back Thursday evening
Of this week?
of this week.
So that is over a month or around a month after.
Yeah. So when they received the footage, it was October 17th.
So it's pretty bang on close
So
to a
it's
month.
bang on a
Yeah.
month. I get an email on Thursday saying, "Hey, we're missing some footage. Could you please send it back to us ASAP?" So I look through all my stuff. Problem is that I deleted it because I needed the SD cards for a wedding I shot last weekend.
Did you legitimately miss sending them some files?
I screwed up some copying.
So yes.
So yes.
Oh.
So, but here's the thing. In their contract that we had signed, it says that I can delete the files after 2 weeks or after they receive the flash drive and confirm it.
Did they confirm it?
They confirmed it on October 17th. And they took a whole month and didn't look through any of it. And I had it for almost a whole month of this extra stuff that I screwed up copying. I double copied some stuff and I didn't, I had all of it, but I deleted it because they confirmed it. So now they're freaking out, and now we're going back and forth on some stuff.
So
But,
here's, unfortunately, all right, legally it seems like you're fine. They can't do anything to hurt you.
yeah.
But I don't think they would be in the wrong at all. Well, I mean, like, if they left a review that was like, he kind of messed up sending us some files,
Yeah.
then I think they're completely in the right.
I think they're completely
Yeah.
in the right for that. My problem is that they waited so long.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
They should have, when they confirmed the flash drive, that day they should have looked through all of it. Or within a week. They're a busy company. I get it. I just mostly feel bad for the bride and groom because they're missing some footage of their day that they paid money for.
Yeah.
But it's not, it's kind of my fault, I feel like. But also, I still had enough time to send it back. I could have sent them all these files back 12 times through. So I guess I don't know. I'm feeling bad.
Yeah.
What do I do to not feel bad?
Well, unfortunately, I'm one of those people. I would live with that and feel bad for a long time. But
Yeah.
all you can do is next time you're doing something, remember how bad you feel right now and don't make the same mistake.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, I think you did fuck up.
I goofed.
Yeah.
I really goofed. Which sucks. And I don't think this company's ever going to hire me again because of that.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like it was not smart of them not to go through it, considering that it was over a month, one, and two, like, this is the first time hiring me, so
Oh, yeah.
I feel like watching me double would be good. Not to say that they should have to. They shouldn't. They're hiring me. I'm a professional, but I made a mistake. And that mistake could have been corrected if they would have looked at it.
No, you're not wrong.
And it makes
there,
me, and it
but-
just, once again, everyone was really nice. The bride and groom were really nice. I had a lovely time doing it. They treated me very well. I just feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for this company. We're already settled with money. I don't care. I just feel bad for them now when they're going to get that bad news. So, yeah.
Well, that sucks.
It is what it is. It happens. Mistakes are made. Speaking of mistakes, though, let's talk about EA.
Yeah.
Normally we do happy stuff on these episodes, but this is a very
so
important
I'll help
thing.
with the segue into this. I've been
Yeah.
running real busy. My last weekend was busy. My week was all busy. Yesterday I went out to my parents. I did some fishing. Mm-hmm. And, like, no one's going to give a shit about this. I like to see how high the river is, the Rocky River, because when it's between... My neighbor loves slamming the door. I don't know if that picked up on the...
I'm sure it did.
We have two doors on the way out, and the one at the bottom just closes normally. There's one on the side that kind of sticks, and he just always uses the one on the side and always takes more than one time.
Why
to
does
slam
it stick?
closed. No idea.
Gross.
So, yeah. Anyways, I went fishing Saturday morning. I caught nothing but leaves because it was just like fall.
Yeah.
Every other cast was pulling leaves in. Then we went to my parents, whatever. But today has been a beautiful, lovely, lazy day. I've played more video games today than I have in probably the last 2 or 3 weeks before it. Played a lot
good.
of Mario, played a lot of Destiny. Today I was even watching StarCraft streams. I didn't go as far as playing StarCraft again.
Yeah,
but
I
had
would say
fun watching
StarCraft 2 is
again.
free now.
Yeah.
We should play that. When's
Yeah.
the last time you played StarCraft?
It's been a long time.
We'll fucking lose left and right, but
I think a lot of people will be in the same boat, though, because
That's
it's
good.
free. So, yeah.
I'm hoping they have a ranking system. I don't really know much about StarCraft Online, so
I mean, I used to watch it. Like, I like it as a spectator sport, actually.
it's fun. It's
I
fun
do.
when you know what's going on.
That's part of the problem is I don't know what any of the new units are. So it's
And like
been a
what the
while.
capabilities
Yeah.
are and like what part of the game you
Like
should be
he
getting
used,
them.
hey, it just cast whatever. I have no idea what that word he just said means. Is that good or bad? Which team even did it? I don't know.
Yeah.
But regardless, a lot of video game time. So I finished Mario Odyssey, the low ending with not a lot of stars.
Yeah. Did
I don't
you like
know if
it?
Yeah, it was a very good game. I would recommend it. The ending, here's spoilers, but it's a story in a Mario game.
Yeah. What do
Who
you
cares? You go to the moon. Bowser's trying to marry Peach on the moon. Whatever.
That's
So
awesome.
it ends, and then Mario holds up some flowers to Peach. It's like, hey, why don't you go out with me? But Peach blows her off. So I'm gonna say, or blows him off.
Yeah.
It's totally cool. It doesn't matter what he did. You don't deserve like a relationship. That doesn't work that way. But then she steals his spaceship and almost leaves him stranded on the moon.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
That's pretty mean.
So
Peach
don't
is being
don't-
pretty mean.
Don't steal a dude's ride.
No, don't steal that whip. Just don't Grand Theft Auto that whip. I'd appreciate that immensely. Jeez.
I mean, like eventually, then it ends with him like, he's excited and he jumps up at the spaceship and throws the hat, which is part of the game.
Okay.
But yeah, Super Mario Odyssey would recommend.
Okay.
It's just a fun little whatever. It has a fun co-op mode where the second player can be the hat.
Oh, that
So
sounds
it's a good
fun.
couch with two people.
Yeah.
But Star Wars Battlefront 2 just came out.
That is true.
And EA's profits have actually been incredible. Like, the company tanked during the housing crisis because everything did.
Yeah.
So in 2013, they hired their new CEO, whose name is eluding me.
Okay.
But he kind of went the...
We'll call him Mr. EA.
Yeah, fine, Mr. EA. But the reason the company has been so infamous is, unfortunately, this is working, but his business model has been games as continual markets, not just as an item you buy once.
Yeah, a one and done kind of thing.
Yeah. So they took it, and it's been working great for them. Day one DLC, microtransactions in games, season passes on launch day, which means you pay for content before it's even been conceived.
Yeah.
And EA's profits have been soaring, but they kind of fumbled this one because they have Battlefront 2 coming out. It's a Star Wars license, and Disney owns Star Wars now, and they really want this. They really care about how this franchise looks.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if you noticed, but right before Episode 7 came out, a lot of positive hype about the prequels came out to kind of try and get people thinking about the prequels in a better light. And I don't know this, and I've seen other people suggest this, but I think maybe Disney had something to do with, like...
I think so. I think they spent some money to try to get some positive reviews. It's like, I've seen those articles that are like, maybe we should relook at the Star Wars prequels. It's like, no, we really don't.
I don't think that's organic. I think that is... anyways. We talked about before about loot boxes in games, how it's gambling.
Yeah.
Well, they just put so much of that into this game. So, like, Overwatch is a Blizzard game, makes StarCraft we were talking about. You can pay money, but you just get, like, little costumes for your characters.
Yeah.
It does not affect gameplay at all.
No.
So the overstep here was, in Battlefront 2, you can pay real money to be more powerful.
Yeah.
So it is, it is hinging on the addictive personality of the gamers. So,
Yeah.
You never know what you're getting in that loot box. It could be Luke Skywalker. It could be Darth Vader. Like, you could run around as, like, a lightsaber-wielding champion when everyone else is just, like, a little laser pistol guy and you're just murdering them.
Exactly.
So this made the internet incredibly pissed off.
Yeah.
And, like, there was a negative outlash. It is the most downvoted comment on Reddit, was, like, the EA supervisor
explain that,
it.
I guess, a little
He basically
more.
said... Some guy did the math, and he's like, hey, if you want to unlock Darth Vader without paying money, it would take you 40 hours of gameplay. And then so EA responded, like, we want you to feel a sense of pride and accomplishment to unlock the heroes, but then you can also spend real-life money on them.
Yeah, so what
So
accomplishment?
that was the most downvoted comment in Reddit history.
Yeah.
And they actually kind of pulled out, and there's no in-game purchasing right now.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting that you say the phrase right now.
It seems like they plan to implement it in the future, but here's the rub of this whole thing is, if they still make a profit on this, it doesn't matter how bad it looks.
Yeah.
So I maybe had some mild interest in Battlefront. There was a chance I would buy it, but probably not. I'm just not playing games as much as I used to. But there's a lot of people on the fence. And so even if you don't get those people to buy it, let's say we have microtransactions in the game, 100,000 people don't buy it that would have.
Yeah.
Well, if the other people that are buying it spend more than what is $6 million, if 100,000 people,
It doesn't
$60,
matter. It doesn't matter what
so
the
if
practice
you have
is.
if $6 million worth of microtransactions or more, it doesn't matter that you've lost those sales.
Yeah.
You've broke even and then making more on top of that.
Gotcha.
So EA doesn't give a shit. It is, yes, games can be considered an art, but it is just a way for them to make money right now. And this
Most
is actually
definitely.
a really dark time in gaming, I think.
I agree. I feel like the loot box stuff is getting out of control. I feel like the EA thing was probably the pinnacle of the loot box problem. Now they're trying to go to court saying that it's gambling and a problem.
Yeah, I did see that. It is gambling. It really is. You don't know what you're not. It's like, hey, I want this costume. Hey, I want this weapon in game. You can't just buy it. You have to buy these random number generators, these slot machines that give you a chance of getting it.
Exactly.
It's gambling.
Which is ridiculous. I still like.
Actually, coming back to StarCraft 2 being free to play, they kind of had this tone deaf commercial for StarCraft 2 that it's free to play, where some guy was losing, or some kid was losing in StarCraft. He's like, Dad, how do I buy better units, like, with real money? And I just remember thinking, like, the loot box problem, like, they have been around, like, Valve had loot boxes, but, like, it was Overwatch that made it commonplace. So,
Yeah.
like, Activision Blizzard having this commercial is, like, really tone deaf.
Yeah, it's like, man, like, you guys started this problem. Like, it's every game almost every game I play now has loot boxes of some capacity.
Yeah, even freaking PlayerUnknown's.
PlayerUnknown has loot
in
boxes.
early access, but you can buy loot boxes.
I have loot boxes for PlayerUnknown. You can technically get loot boxes for Destiny 2.
Yeah.
With all the bright Ingrams and whatnot.
So that bugs me, but I honestly have felt zero pressure to buy money on those.
Which
spend
is
money on those
cool.
things.
Yeah, which is awesome. When I used to play Quake Champions, that was loot box heavy. You could still unlock better loot boxes when you level, but now I'm at a certain level where leveling could take weeks to play.
Yeah.
Like if I only play
Is Quake
that game.
Champions free to play though?
Oh, I think.
So this is a very important distinction.
I don't
for
think
me.
so right now.
So like Overwatch, the loot boxes really bug me. Even though they're only cosmetic, you
Yeah.
have to buy Overwatch to play Overwatch.
Yeah.
And then you have loot boxes on top of that.
Yeah.
But they have Heroes of the Storm, which is their free to play MOBA like Dota or League of Legends. It has loot boxes now. But I think that's totally fine. It's a way to unlock champions in the game because anyone can go install it and play it.
Yeah.
So I honestly think that the fee to entry should be I either bought the game and then don't have this psychologist niggling away at my impulsive I need to spend money on this thing. Or it's a free to play game where that's the cost I play. I either, go through it and decide I like the game enough and want to support it and want more features in it, or just don't. Or I've bought the game outright and play everything in it. And I hate that gaming is getting away from this.
Exactly. I think Quake Champions, if I remember reading correctly, right now since it's early access, you have to pay money to play it. But when it's getting towards full release, they're doing a thing where like you can install it and play it, and then like every week you get to play a different champion for free. But if you want to play more different champions, you have to buy them. So that's
pricing
fine.
Models can be very dynamic now, but
yeah,
it's just
I'm okay with that because it's kind of like at least you get to play and have like a demo.
Yeah.
Like I know that I'm gonna like this or not without having to put hard money down. I like that aspect as much as I like the Steam refund policy. You still have to put all that money down to buy a game. So did you see that guy who on Twitch beat the new Sonic Forces game?
I did see that.
So,
Why don't you tell it? I've been talking a lot.
So Steam has a refund policy that you can return a game. What is it after
2 hours of gameplay?
Two. I thought it was 2.5.
I think
Was
it's
it
2.
2? Okay.
Yeah.
You can return a game if you've only played it less than 2 hours. You get a full refund, no questions asked. There's a new Sonic game that just came out called Sonic Forces, and someone on Twitch bought the game, beat it in less than 2 hours, and then returned it. And then everyone got pissy about it.
I think the real issue was he said beforehand, I'm going to buy, beat, and return this game and make the money on Twitch because I'm streaming it. This is revenue from ads and if anyone subscribes. Mm-hmm. So I actually didn't end up seeing what happened to him. I just saw this story.
Yeah. I didn't see the aftermath of that. I just saw that this is what he did, and he like kind of apologized, and he's like, I didn't know this was a thing. And I'm like, okay, I mean, it's probably somewhere in a contract somewhere that you can't, that's not how this works, but I really don't know. But the fact that that game is only 2 hours is a problem in its own right. So, I mean, what are you going to do? The loot box thing is, I like the loot box thing in a sense that if they're only cosmetic, I don't care. They don't have any gameplay changing qualities.
I think it's a great way to support game. Like free to play, I think it's a good way. It can be predatory. They call these people whales that spend like thousands of dollars on them. But
it's their money, and if they like what they like, they're gonna do it.
There's an argument to be said there. Because what about people with like highly addictive personalities?
Well, that's the flip side of that coin.
I don't really know the right answer there. Is it freaking Activision Blizzard's like place to control how you spend your money?
Exactly. That's a whole. I feel like that's a whole moral issue kind of thing where it's like, it's my money. If I want to spend $1,000 on Overwatch loot boxes to see if I get a cool skin, I should have a right to do that.
Yeah, the problem is some people
libertarian Kyle coming out all of a sudden.
Some people are like weak-willed and they don't have $1,000 to spend on it, and they do.
But they do.
But if you do have $1,000 to spend on it, that's where you put it. Like, you know what? That's fine.
Yeah.
But
that's what you want to do, man. Like, if you have the money for it, I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to successfully get what everyone wants. But as long as it keeps in the cosmetic realm, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, but that was the big downfall there was it's like you make the... See, this isn't even a free-to-play game because like PlanetSide 2 was the game I played.
Mm-hmm.
And to a certain extent, the free-to-play players felt like content for the paid players because you just had better stuff.
Yeah.
It was more people to kill.
Mm-hmm.
But in Battlefront 2, you've already paid $60 or $80.
Yeah.
And now you're like a free-to-play player. So you're just content for the people then that are opening loot boxes. And
Yeah.
man,
you're cannon fodder at that
dark.
point. It's dumb. It looked like a fun game, and I just don't think, like, supporting something like that. Like, watching all these streamers play it, like, it's pretty high up there in the stream.
It looks like a decent game. If it wasn't followed around by so much drama, I might have checked it out.
I know, right? It seems fun. I played a little bit of the first one, and I thought it was fun. I mean,
I didn't play the first one because it was like half a game. This one looks like it's a full game.
yeah,
at least,
which that's also a problem is like releasing these games. So like, also I am very much a hypocrite when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Because you bought the new Marvel vs. Capcom.
Exactly. I bought the new Marvel vs. Capcom, and I also bought the 6 DLC characters before they even were announced, and before the game even came out, I bought them. So I basically reserved them. And even before the game came out, they already told us what 2 of the fucking people were, and they were in the story mode, and you couldn't play as them. But they were in the story mode, and you had to fight them.
So they already had like movesets and the like. Maybe not perfectly balanced, but
yeah, they weren't balanced because it's an arcade mode kind of deal.
Yeah.
But they're there. They're in the thing. So I don't know. It's just like I feel like a hypocrite for that. But also I like supporting that game when I can because I feel like it's got a lot of flack and I want to see it keep going. I don't know. So it's for me that's a constant battle of like me cherry picking the issue.
It's hard because they have something you want. It's a franchise
That's the
you
other
love,
problem.
but it's
Yeah.
like they're not treating it well. There's not a place of artistic love or
No.
they're like, let's be predatory.
Yeah, they're really pulling at me.
Let's min-max, minimum effort, maximum profit. Let's
That's
do it.
right.
What's the least we can get away with where people are still going to buy it and buy more? Like
Exactly. But also they don't have any loot boxes. They just have these DLC characters that you can pay money to play, and that's cool. I like that. That is now. I'd rather put the money up front, knowing I'm getting the product, than putting the money down and hoping I'm getting the product that I want. I don't know if I have to pick either or at that point. So it's weird. It's just a weird time for gaming. It's so
dark.
weird.
It's the
but
darkest
Destiny 2's
timeline.
going pretty well, right? Like
I don't
that's
know.
fun.
We're having fun with that.
We're having
but
fun
I
with
see
it.
a lot of problems with that game, but I still have fun with it.
It's still, as long as it's still fun, I'm having a fun time. I paid $0 for it. I was happy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got with the graphics card that I got for the
yeah.
computer. So I'm like, I'm fucking on cloud 9 with this game. I don't give a shit. If it ends tomorrow, I'm like, well, I had fun. So I didn't pay a goddamn time. So let's talk about your like for this episode.
Sure.
Now we're off in tangent. Unless you want to discuss any more about
No, that's everything.
the things that we wrote down before we were going to do this episode.
No. I'm really hokey this week.
Mm-hmm.
Holidays are coming up.
Yeah.
My like is family.
Okay.
And found family.
Family.
Like,
Found family?
Yeah, that
like
counts
a
too.
found footage family kind of deal?
You know, you've heard that term, right? Found family?
Found family. Yeah, I mean, I've seen all the Fast and Furious films. Of course I know about found family.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you make a group of people that become your family regardless, and they're not related in
And
blood.
then you race cars.
And then you race cars, and you drink Corona, and you hang out.
Right.
You don't wear sleeves.
And then you show up at one of their funerals, and even though their actual family's there, you steal the corpse and take it back to America.
Look, things happen. So let's talk about family then.
Yeah. So I just think, it's that time of year. It's kind of feels like an obligation. It can feel miserable. I don't want to travel. I don't want to buy gifts. But, man, human connections are what make life good. So you just got to respect the good ones you have.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have a lot to say here, but what I'm saying, it's coming from the heart, man. And it's
Yeah. Oh, you're getting emotional.
Yeah,
I
you gotta
like
learn
it.
to like. If you got good people in your life, let them know how much you appreciate them.
Yeah,
And
by showing them this podcast, right?
Yes.
I'm an opportunist, James, and you can always tell us how much you like your family, or if we're a part of your family by emailing us at thepluckingpetalspodcast@gmail.com.
you totally just derailed me, and I don't want to get back on.
No, you're getting back on that boat. I don't get you crashed in the water in the jet ski. Now you're getting back on the jet
That's
ski.
dark.
What does family mean to you?
I don't know. Like my actual.
What is family?
It's just like the close human connections you have. We're a social creature, and life ain't really worth living unless you got people to share your good moments with and
That
help
is
you
true.
out through the bad.
Yeah.
You can't rely too much on people. You got to carry your own weight. But
Yes.
yeah, man. Just like I got lucky. I got a great family,
Yeah.
and then I've made some good friends that I really appreciate. And
Yeah.
love having. I would say you, but you just try to plug in the middle of my like
Can't
sentimental.
help it.
Yeah.
You know I can't help these things.
But no, that's all I gotta say. Holidays are coming up.
Okay.
Don't look at it as so much as an obligation. I mean, you all got that weird uncle or whatever, but like,
Yeah, you don't have to talk to anyone. You don't have to. And you don't have to answer anyone if you don't want to. If someone's asking you like, "Hey, why aren't you going back to school?" or like, "How come you don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend?" You can tell them to go screw. It's your life, and they can't control it. I feel like that's very important. And also, if you don't want to go see your family in the holidays, you don't have to.
no, you don't.
You really don't have to. I cannot say this enough. I know a couple people who have really not great families, and they just don't get along with them. It's like you
Sucks,
don't.
But then remember the people you've made. It sucks if you're isolated and don't have good human connections. But when you find those people in your life that really make it better,
Most definitely.
sometimes it can be easy to like lose track of time or just put yourself out there, be a little sappy, and let them
Be a little sappy. Let them know that you're coming straight from the heart, and that you just you love and respect them, and you want to spend time with them, and you want to, I don't know, you form a bond. I feel like the bond thing nowadays with technology is hard to do sometimes. So, but sometimes that works for some people. Just being on Facebook with someone else and like liking someone's comment or something, like that's sometimes someone's connection to family, and that's what they feel is family. I don't know. It's not for me personally. I like talking face to face. That's why we're doing this podcast. I'm seeing you with my eyes right now, and you're very good looking, and I'm very excited that you want to still do this podcast with me, even though I ruin everything you're working towards on this podcast. Because like self-destruct is an aspect of my life that I cannot get away from personally. But what are you gonna do?
That's a good question, and I don't know.
I don't know. You're supposed to offer me all this advice all the time.
All right,
You're supposed to be the
let's
wise.
take a break.
sage.
I'm gonna get a Modelo. Do you want a Modelo?
Yeah, I'll get a Modelo. I'm just gonna talk for a minute about the fact that I don't know. This music video is pretty fun. I did. It's for the song. It's called "I Think I'm Gonna Die." My girl's into true crime. And I wrote it about my girlfriend, Ashley, and because she and I are really into true crime and podcasts and movies and television shows, and, you know, I want to make a song that just in case I die, that the police will have something to maybe look at my corpse a little more, because, you know, maybe it was her. I don't know. I'm not asking questions. I just want to make, it's more of an alibi. Like, I really enjoy making the song. It's very fun and lighthearted, and my girlfriend very much enjoys it. But thank you. But at the same time, I do feel like it's an alibi for the cops. So, welcome back. I guess we talk about My Like real quick. My Like is new content. I really like new content.
Okay, so do you mean new creators or like when I saw that Donkey released a video after we finished that PUBG game and I watched it and was in heaven and I loved it.
What was the new Donkey video?
It
by
was
the way?
on Assassin's Creed, the new one.
Oh,
I think It's
God.
called Origins, but like man,
His Odyssey video was amazing.
Donkey is a excellent content creator, and I love when a new video of his goes up because I know it's going to be good.
Yep. My new favorite one is the collector's edition one. Of all the bullshit.
So that was just like edited together footage,
And
of
that's fine.
Bullshit.
I
which
think that's fun.
We've talked about before when Kuhar was on that Kroby Cat channel. Is the king of that, but it does not release videos very much.
Is that the Kroby chat? Is that the E3 guy?
He did a video, the E3 video I showed you. Was
Those
that
are
guy.
so good. Those are so fucking funny. I really like new stuff. I don't know if it's me. I know it's me.
No, you didn't. I mean, I was kind of asking Do you mean like when you find a new content creator, or when one you like releases new stuff?
New stuff.
So
So when I say content, that kind of is a broad stroke of a paintbrush, in which I'm talking about whether it be a movie, a game, a TV show. It's not often, except for very few things that I go back to. I don't go back to things very often, whether it be video games or movies or TV shows.
Oh man, I'm the opposite. I've read some of my favorite books like 8 times.
Yeah, I do have my exceptions. I've seen Shaun of the Dead like a bunch of times. I've seen The Room a shit ton of times. I've watched Cheers all the time. But like video games, like I don't remember the last video game I played that was something that I already played.
Ocarina of Time probably for me.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember, like I haven't gone back. Like once I play a game and I beat it, it's very rare for me to go back and play it again, just because I feel like there's so much more out there that I could be experiencing and enjoying that's a different experience. And I want to take that.
And I probably make a new character in a Dark Souls game every 6 months or so.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't. It's, once again, unless it's like Hotline Miami, I often don't play games again. I just don't feel. I feel like my time on Earth is limited, so why not try to experience?
See, that makes sense.
Most
so, like,
things.
I'm not a. I mean, it depends on the content. So, like I said, in Mario, I got you got the minimum number of stars to beat it.
Yeah.
Whatever. I probably won't see any of the other ones unless I YouTube them.
Yeah.
Because I might play that game again for a little bit, but I'm not a 100%er.
Yeah, you're not a completionist.
No.
I think a good example of that is like the game Undertale.
Oh,
Like,
I love that game.
I played it once. I didn't get the good ending because I fucked a bunch of shit up. Whatever. But I beat it, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm not a good person to like do multiple playthroughs of games. The director I was working with this weekend, his name was Robbie. You've met him. He was on the podcast. His girlfriend said she was playing through Nier Automata, and apparently you have to play through that game like 4
You're
times.
supposed to replay through it, yeah.
Which is,
I've heard it's great. I want to get to
yeah,
it. I just haven't.
She told me about that. I'm like, I hate everything that you're talking about. I'm like, I just want to play this game once and like enjoy it.
But XCOM's like that. I don't know if you ever played any of the XCOM games.
No.
They're really fun, but it's like, you get your run going and all of a sudden everything gets fucked. Well, guess what? You're starting over. Like,
Really?
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fine. But I mean, like, the
It's
fact that you
kind
beat
of
the
a-
game and have to do it again,
no.
that's where I have the problem with. I die in games all the time.
Well, in Dark Souls, there's New Game Plus or whatever. And all right. So the one that I think is most. The Witcher 3 was one of my favorite games of all time.
Okay.
And I've beaten it, I think, 3 times now.
Okay.
And it's just like, I love living that story. It's so well done. It's based off of those Polish books. I've talked about it here before, so I
Yeah.
won't get too much into it. But it's just, they crafted a beautiful story. And just the world feels so alive and the characters feel like so real that I just love spending time there.
Yeah.
And I will probably beat it again.
That's
before-
cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like, once again, like, I don't know if that really counts of like me playing like Destiny or PUBG.
Well, I mean, yeah, because that's just, it's multiplayer. It is like technically
new.
content.
It's a new
'cause
like
it's this game
Yeah.
with these people.
It's like every time we drop in the PUBG island, it's a new experience, it's a new gameplay, it's a new story for us to deal with.
I was thinking about what that game is to me. You bought it for me. I know we had the whole podcast where I just ranted about how much I don't like it.
Yeah.
But that game is. Remember when I bought us the stand-up game that no one ever played?
Oh yeah, for fucking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot that you bought that for me.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Well, I was saying that it could be like a lobby we hang out in, and that's what
Yeah.
PUBG is to me. It's a lobby we hang out in while we're opening doors and shit,
Mm-hmm.
until eventually there's 3 seconds of gameplay where 90% of the time we die.
Yeah.
Or we killed someone, and then it's hanging out in the lobby again.
But that's also how we play that game, though.
Yeah.
Like, when I feel like I play with Jason, we definitely play, like, super safe and super around. But, like, when I'm playing by myself, I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm running into Ponchiki right now, and I'm just going to fight whoever's
But
there.
I don't like playing the game that way because I feel like the mechanics are clunky. Like
They are
it's-
clunky
If I want to
still.
just go play a shooter, like even Destiny's PvP right now feels a lot more refined.
Yeah, I'm not digging that PvP. It reminds me too much of Halo.
So I really like the competitive mode that kind of has the Counter-Strike rules where you have 1 life per round. unless you
Yeah,
get res.
which is
I'm
nice.
really enjoying that.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I just feel like I wish it was a little more. I wish it was a little less
We have derailed you so bad. What is some new content you like?
2v1 content, 2v1 PvP in Destiny is so ridiculous. I should, if I'm the 1 versus 2 people, I should have a chance to kill 2 people. That's how I feel. I feel like just numbers shouldn't make you a better player. I feel like it's aim and accuracy and the guns that you get that make you a better player. Anyways, but new content wise, Destiny has been a big thing of that. I'm gonna go see The Disaster Artist tomorrow. When this comes out, I already saw it. I'm sure it was amazing. Just like I have a problem. I just have a problem with like going back and like watching things that I've seen already. Cause I'm like, I've seen it. Unless it's like I'm looking for a specific thing. Like once in a while, like I'll watch like just the fight scenes of 300 because I like the fight scenes of 300. But that's like me going on YouTube. But like I just don't feel the need like other people to go back and go through old games again. Like our friend James, James.
I know. James. He was on the podcast.
Exactly.
Now. So if you're a listener, you probably know.
You probably know about James too. You know James a little too well now. So he like plays like through like Fallout like a bunch of times and like Skyrim like a bunch of times, and I can't get myself to do that because I just feel like there's so much stuff that we can be doing. Like new games come out all the time. We should be trying these new things, trying new experiences. Even when it comes to, I'm not so good about food right now because I tend to do my thing. Okay, why is that?
So I think Skyrim and Fallout are a bad example because I feel like as much as I have played those games, they're not great examples of content because I feel like most people I know that have had a lot of fun with those games.
Mm-hmm.
They've kind of built their own narratives. They're never like, oh, the story of the game stuck with me. They're like, oh, there's this time this happened and this weird glitch or this mod I added. And it was like, they're good platforms for stuff to happen.
They're good imagination platforms, basically.
And there's a lot of stuff in there, but I feel like, I don't know. It's hard to get my point across right now, but I don't feel like, okay, Fallout New Vegas was built on Fallout 3's engine.
Okay.
But it had a story that I actually remember, even though I only beat that game
I don't even know what that story was. I think I played it.
Well written. I don't know. I just felt like the characters were exciting. I remember the first time I came into Vegas. I remember the weird, I can't remember his name now, but the little like buddy thing, the robot with the human face picture.
Nope.
Yeah, I
got nothing.
Yeah, it was. I think Bethesda doesn't know how to write. I feel like they put their resources into the wrong things.
Yeah.
Which is why
they let everyone else do it.
Yeah.
Which is a great business model because that saves them so much time, money, and resources to do that. I guess my counter... keep going.
But coming around, so I was saying that's why Bethesda was a bad example. But like The Witcher or Zelda or Dark Souls, I feel like these are projects I can definitely tell that the people that made them like poured themselves into.
Yeah.
I just, they're great experiences. Dark Souls isn't really narrative heavy, but they still have built these like beautiful... dire worlds.
Yeah.
And, like The Witcher is like a great narrative, and Ocarina of Time was just like, I don't know, maybe it's not as good as I remember, but I still love playing it like every other year.
Yeah.
It's just like these great pieces of whatever they are. I don't know if you can call games art, but it's like people that loved something, people that had a passion for something made this, and just like experiencing that fire inside of them is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no problem. I don't feel like I'm wasting my time going back and reliving these actual like home runs.
I get it. I feel like a lot of that has to do with like single player games that make me never want to play them again. For example, I really, really like the new Doom game.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
The new Doom game is amazing. It is so much fucking fun. I had a blast. Will I revisit it again? Probably not. Or all the Wolfenstein games. We're going back to the other side of Bethesda, where it's very linear and very like, just go, just do this, get to point A to point B. Anyone who shoots you, shoot them back and shoot them better. But I just feel like I love that game. I think that game was so much fun. It revitalized my love of Doom. And then I went back and played some of the Doom games I never played before. But I don't know. I can't get back into that kind of mindset because I'm also a little fearful that it isn't as good as I thought it was gonna be. Like, I thought Doom 3 was a great game.
Nah.
I enjoyed Doom 3 a shit ton. And Resurrection of Evil, the expansion pack. It wasn't
never
a
played the
DLC.
expansion pack, yeah.
It was an expansion pack. I want things to be called expansion packs again. And I really like those games. They weren't great games at the time, but for me, as a 15-year-old maybe, had a blast playing those games. Maybe I'm afraid that I'm not going to find that magic again and think it's not as good.
Well, I mean, but there's nothing wrong with that. So I remember loving GoldenEye and its like pseudo sequel Perfect Dark on the N64.
Yeah.
Like I brought up Ocarina of Time before.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to all 3 of those games.
Okay.
GoldenEye and Perfect Dark suck. They're
Okay.
terrible.
Yeah.
They do not live up.
No.
Since the invention of the right joystick on a controller that gives you some kind of precision in aiming, where you're not trying to aim with buttons,
Yeah.
like the C buttons.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
And then the fact that if you're doing 4-player split screen, which I remember having so much fun with, it gets like 3 frames a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those games don't hold up.
No,
but
they-
Ocarina of Time does.
Okay, that's
But
fine.
okay, Smash Brothers. It's a 4-player game and it holds up. Mario Kart 64 is still shitloads of fun to play.
Yeah, it's fun to play, but I also feel, but those are multiplayer
Yeah.
games where you're bringing back that whole different experience, even if it's just a little bit. It's still a different experience.
But I mean, Final Fantasy VII. I know it's such a popular game to think is good, but I still agree with it. And it's like, I don't know, man. I played through that again not too long ago. Like, I really like that game.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't. I guess should bring in my problem as just being single player games. I just don't like single player games, I guess. I like hanging out with you guys. Like, I have way more fun playing a game with like you and Jason and James than I do playing by myself in an enriched story. Like, I will drop a story in any instant over under playing you guys. Like, playing like Destiny. Like, I have no idea what's going on with Destiny right now. But the fact that I get to play with like you and like your friends on Discord and like some of my friends,
terrible. You don't want to know what's
that's
happening.
fine. Yeah. I don't care.
I get your point. So like games like that, I level the character by myself to just have it to play with friends. But
Yeah.
PUBG, Destiny, I don't play by myself.
Yeah.
But I do love those moments where like I just want to experience something else. I love those story games. Like
Okay.
I've been enjoying Mario and Breath of the Wild. And
I think that's just my game preference because I often don't play those kind of games.
do you read books, like fiction books, ever for pleasure? Like,
No, not very often.
do you ever read for pleasure? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy the improv books that I read and stuff. I haven't read anything in a.
but have you ever read like a work of fiction? Then? So maybe it's just like tied to that because I also like to read. Well, all right, I read with my ears, but I do a lot of
Yeah.
like, listening, just other stories. So maybe it's just that same.
I guess my brain isn't wired like that. I don't know. I feel like my time when it comes to games, I want to share that experience with other people. I don't want to be that guy who is like, oh my God, this happened in this game. Let me tell you about this game. Like, I want to be like, and we played PUBG earlier. You know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm like, hey, we won that game of PUBG earlier. Wasn't that fun? I have much more set of accomplishment when the multiplayer thing hits more than the single player game hits.
But I mean, you love movies. I don't.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
feel
I'm
like
cherry picking.
I feel like it kind of plays to that same like, it's that experience. I mean, I know they're different formats. Like, in a movie, you don't really control anything. You sit there and watch the directing and the visuals, it was all put together, the story and everything.
Correct.
In a book, you kind of have control over what things look like because they only give you a certain amount, but you kind of fill in the rest of the blanks yourself.
Yeah. It kind of depends on the author, but if I'm nitpicking here, so
Yeah, obviously, there's obviously bad authors, and like everything else, it's so hard to find those like things that are good and authors that are good, and even good authors have bad work. It's just a constant
it happens.
struggle. We're
Ernest
all
Hemingway
trying.
did not hit 100% of the time, so
But
it's fine.
in a video game, you don't control any of the visuals, but you can kind of control what the character does to a certain extent, and it's just different ways to take in a story that someone laid out or a group of people laid out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's something I have to explore. Maybe I'm just not hitting the right games again.
Yeah, maybe, or like the right books.
The
Probably
right
same
books.
thing, but-
Yeah, I need to get a good book again. That sounds cool. I don't know. I don't read very often. That's just I don't know. I always pick movies over that, but that's my medium. That's my work. That's my life.
No,
so
that makes
it just-
sense. But
It makes me feel dumb. Like my girlfriend reads a bunch and she does things with language and words, and I'm just like, but like this shot is amazing, and let me tell you all about
if
this
you
shot.
get nothing out of it, like there's nothing I can say that would make it
Yeah.
make sense. But it just there's so many like stories that I've read or like story-based games that I played that I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, man, that's a very positive experience I have in my memory. And it's like,
Yeah.
it would be cool if you had that too, but I get it if it's
Yeah.
not gonna work for you.
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay, so like if we do like a quick like Stephen King thing, like I like some of Stephen King's movies. I don't give a shit about the books because that stuff doesn't. I guess it boils down to what impacts me. A spooky story and written word doesn't impact me as much as seeing it visually done. And that's just me, I guess, at the end of the day. So I'm very much visually stimulated by things. I have to hear it and I have to see it happening. I can't hear it in my own voice because I don't think I'm very spooky or engaging or
No, I get
in that
it.
regard. So it's weird because when I don't know about you, but I read in my own voice and it's not an engaging voice to be reading in. So I don't know. It's weird. Life is weird.
I got no answer for you there.
That's fine. That's fine. Do you want to do a happy ending or do you want to? What are you feeling?
I feel like that wasn't really a lot about new content.
I mean, at the end of the day,
Oh well.
new content wise, I mean, Destiny 2 came out.
So why don't you plug some new, other than Destiny? What's some new stuff you're enjoying?
Man,
I'll go to like get buddy from work. Here's my D&D campaign.
Yeah.
And then you both told me about binging with Babish at similar times. That's how I decided to finally check it out. I love that. That's a
Binging with
great
Babish
channel.
is great. I have Disaster Artist tomorrow. I'm gonna love. I already just know it. What else is good? The new Wolfenstein game that's on my list of things of doing, and I'm very excited about that. Show wise, the new Punisher series came out, and I'm very excited to start that. And like Cutthroat Kitchen, and it's some episodes I've never seen, and I love it.
So the 4th season of the Great British Bake Off is
Yeah.
on Netflix. It doesn't feel as good. You know how we've talked about the show, and part of what's enjoyable is how like upbeat it is. Like even though we're
How
sending you home, this
positive.
is wonderful. This 4th season, and I don't know if anyone watches this and wants to actually write into the podcast and see if
Yeah.
you feel the same way or not. It feels tense. Like it doesn't feel like people are having a good time, and it's
No.
inspiring. Have you seen it?
I've seen I think I know what season you're talking about.
It
'Cause
came
they
up
they
recently,
they
but-
throw out random seasons and they're not in order
Oh.
as to what Netflix tells you they're in order.
Okay.
Because I started finding them on the internet and the seasons are mix and match a little bit. So, but I think I know which one you're talking about, and they just look stressed as shit the whole time.
Yeah, like I
Whole time.
today when I was being lazy and a piece of shit, I watched one of the first episode of what Netflix calls the first season, and it
Yeah.
just like is so uplifting.
Yeah,
compared
everyone's
to what
like,
yeah.
man, you set that cake on fire, but you know what? I like fire.
Even Pollywood, who's kind of a dick, is like
Pollywood.
having a fun time being a dick. Yeah.
Can you be Pollywood on Steam? I mean, I'm already Mary Berry, so
I'll be Pollywood if we play
she's-
PUBG
She's
again.
my favorite. Okay, have you watched the ones where they actually like cook the stuff, like
The
Mary
master
Berry?
class, I
Yeah.
have not watched
Man,
those yet.
you need to watch those because those are just Mary Berry giving Paul Hollywood shit the whole time. It is. Like Paul Hollywood makes bad puns and Mary Berry just like scolds him the whole time. And it is I find those more enjoyable than the Great British Bake Off. Like I recommend them to do the masterclass
right.
if you can. But yeah, I find new stuff is fun. I enjoy new stuff. I think it's exciting to figure out, sometimes new stuff is bad. I've seen a bunch of YouTube videos and I didn't like, and
Most
they were new.
content is bad,
Most content is bad.
but you don't be hard on them. It's just
No,
like,
they're doing their thing.
there's a lot of bad before it becomes okay. I think the most inspiring way to say that is Jake from Adventure
State
Time.
Farm? Oh.
Fuck you. Jake from Adventure Time.
Okay.
Was, sucking at something is the first step to being kind of good, or whatever the quote is. But I just found it a very inspiring way to say that.
I like that. And on that note, I think we're going to end the podcast.
All
right. Once again, actually, you know what? Do you have any plugs real quick? How about that?
Wusthof Knives. WUSTHOF.
Okay.
I love my knife.
Cool.
Yeah.
My knife.
My knife.
My knife. For me, nothing. I got nothing right now. So we're doing the album in February. So that's about it. As always, this has been the Plucking Petals podcast with James and Kyle. And as always, I am Kyle.
And I'm going to deglaze the world.
Have a good day.